Marina, a young, innocent girl, had been eagerly waiting for the summer holidays to arrive. It was customary in this part of Benin for children to stay with relatives or family friends during the summer break. Marina's parents often sent her to stay with her Aunt Lucy in Cotonou, and this year was no different. Little did Marina know, however, that her innocent summer vacation would turn into a nightmare. As Marina packed her bags on the last day of school, excitement filled her heart. She imagined all the adventures she would have in the big city of Cotonou. Her parents assured her that she would have a wonderful time with Aunt Lucy, just as she always had in the past. But this time, Marina's parents wouldn't be seeing her again. Marina was a bright and curious 9-year-old girl with a zest for life. Leaving her small village behind and venturing out into the bustling city was a thrilling experience for her. The weekend finally arrived, and Marina waited anxiously for her aunt to pick her up. Unbeknownst to Marina and her family, Aunt Lucy had a sinister agenda. Struggling with her failing business and desperate to maintain her lavish lifestyle and social status, Lucy sought the help of a shady priest. In a twisted pact, she agreed to sacrifice a human life for riches, and instead of offering her own children, she chose her innocent niece, Marina. While Marina busily settled her belongings, Lucy and Mariana's parents engaged in friendly conversation. As the time to depart drew near, Lucy called out, "Mariana, it's time to leave." Marina's excitement filled the air as she eagerly responded and bid farewell to her parents. Upon arriving at Aunt Lucy's house in Cotonou, Marina's eyes widened with awe. She had never seen such luxury before. Lucy presented her with a spacious room, and Marina dropped her bags before excitedly exploring her new surroundings. Meanwhile, Lucy busied herself with the preparations for the ritual. The priest she had consulted wore bizarre clothing and adorned his body with intricate paintings. Marina, in her bathrobe after taking a shower, noticed her cousin's absence and was taken aback by the strange man in the house. Fear gripped her heart. Sitting at the dinner table, Marina stared at her plate, unable to eat. Aunt Lucy tried to explain that Marina's cousin had gone to their grandparents' house and that she had invited a friend over for the evening. The exhaustion from the day's events overwhelmed Marina, and before she could finish her meal, she fell into a deep slumber, probably from poisoned food. During Marina's sleep, Lucy and the priest carried her motionless body to a room that had been prepared for the ritual. As the priest began the incantations and performed dark rituals, Lucy recited ancient verses. Marina's body underwent a macabre transformation, slowly mummifying before their evil eyes. Once the ritual was complete, the priest warned Lucy never to let anyone into that room, threatening her with death should someone know the secret of what would become the source of her wealth. The next day, Lucy called Marina's parents in the village, claiming she hadn't seen their daughter. Frantic with worry, Marina's parents made the journey to Cotonou to join Lucy in the search for their beloved daughter. Days turned to weeks, and weeks became months, but there was no sign of Marina. Eventually, a substantial monetary offer from Lucy persuaded Marina's parents to return to their village, as she would continue the search. Devastated and grieving for their lost child, Marina's parents had no idea where to look or who to turn to for answers. Meanwhile, Lucy's activities flourished, and all her wishes came true. She sent her children abroad, one by one, except for her son Williams, who remained with her in Cotonou. Years passed, and Aunt Lucy's activities continued to thrive. She became immensely wealthy, indulging in a life of luxury. Her children were sent abroad, except for her son Williams, who stayed by her side. Williams, despite his privileged upbringing, had a good heart and had just finished college. Returning home for the summer holidays, he found himself amidst opulence and extravagance. One day, after a heated conversation with his mother about money, Williams decided to explore her bedroom in search of cash. As he snooped around the closet, a secret door caught his attention, leading to a mysterious room unknown to him. Defying his mother's orders to never get into her room, curiosity overwhelmed him, and he opened the door. Within its confines, Williams made a shocking discovery. There, in the room, stood a mummified body. In a state of disbelief, he recognized the preserved form of his cousin, Marina, who had been missing for years. He called out her name, and to his astonishment, money poured forth from her mouth like water from a faucet. The revelation hit Williams like a thunderbolt, shaking the very foundation of his existence. His heart pounded against his chest as he stood frozen, staring at the macabre spectacle before him. The room, once a secret chamber of horrors, now seemed to echo with Marina's silent cries for justice. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, revealing the horrific source of his family's wealth. It was clear now that his mother had engaged in unspeakable acts, sacrificing innocence for the sake of gold. The sudden outcry from Williams, echoing through the halls of the mansion, caught the immediate attention of the household staff. The maids, upon hearing such distress, hurried to his side, unprepared for the horror that awaited them. The sight that met their eyes in the secret room was beyond comprehension. A human form, preserved and mummified, from which money flowed as if from a cursed fountain. Panic took hold, and instinctively, they fled the room, their screams piercing the air as they burst through the doors of the mansion. The news of their discovery spread like wildfire, igniting a storm of curiosity and horror among the townspeople. Within minutes, a crowd had gathered outside the grand house, their murmurs growing into a cacophony of shock and disbelief. Driven by a mixture of fear, anger, and an insatiable need for the truth, the populace surged forward, breaking past the gates and into the mansion. They moved as one, a tidal wave of outraged citizens, demanding answers and justice for a sin so dark it defied belief. In the end, good would prevail over evil, and Marina's spirit would find solace as her story became known, and justice was served for the innocent life that was cruelly sacrificed for greed.